Hey everybody, it's Kathy P. Welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a long video. I'm going to do some commentary on a live that ElleBee did about a week ago, about 7 days ago, spewing a lot of misinformation in the McRae case, of course. But she's made a lot of, she says it's all hearsay what she's hearing. So why are you repeating it? Because you know that it's rumors and gossip and misinformation. But yet you're still running with it. Excuse me. But let's get into this. Oh, and by the way, this is just my opinion. It is covered under fair use commentary. Just stressing that because there's some out there that like to fraudulently strike channels. But yeah, just my opinion. Covered under fair use. Let's get into it.
So I kind of left it alone for a little bit, just thinking, you know what? And this was a conversation that people like to have because their life was so public. It was basically.
You're talking about Dre and Vaughn's story that you guys all created because there was no story. No, you didn't just leave it alone, Elle. We know how you are with the little Miss Innocent Act. When things start getting hot, which they did because people were questioning things, facts were coming out, proving there was a lot of lies told, police got involved, there was complaints filed, investigate. You slid your way, tried to slide your way out of it, but then you come back preaching you got an update that there is no update, and you're spewing misinformation. Typical Elle. We know how you do things. Remember the fake messages and the share them with the Christmas gifts and fraud raiser. There's a lot. But let's get into it.
Like Marvin and Dre McRae basically had a reality show on social media, essentially, you know.
They didn't have a reality show, you idiot.
Almost. So when this happened, and Dre McRae did not tell her following, her 600K following, that her husband was in the hospital in a coma. She didn't tell them for 8 days.
She doesn't have to tell anybody. That's her personal business, her and Vaughn. So she didn't do anything wrong. She didn't have to tell anybody. She's not obligated to report to any of you or us.
When she didn't tell them, and then she finally told them 8 days later, it was very strange. And then she told them that he was in a coma due to...
What was so strange? She didn't have to tell anybody anything, because it's none of your business.
Seizures. At first, everyone believed her, right? Because why would they not believe her? They have watched Dre McRae for years alongside her husband, Marvin, seeming to be a happy couple, you know.
Yeah, they were.
So when she said, oh, he's in a coma due to seizures, everyone knew that he had been having seizures. It was believable. But then the family came out trying to get some answers.
Okay, I'm just gonna let it play because I have so much I could say, but then this video will be like hours and we can't do that, so yeah.
And wasn't getting any answers from Dre, his wife, so they did a little digging, found out that he was actually in the hospital.
They didn't do any digging. Quit lying. Quit misinforming people. And what you're not telling people, as the parents and the family you're speaking about, was Marvan's biological mother and biological father. By the way, we're never married, but that's neither here nor there. But it is part of the story. This story you guys made up. They were not a part of Vaughn's life. The mother that adopted him, his great-grandmother, and raised him, was well aware of what was going on. Because she had a relationship with them and with Dre. She was a part of their lives. So, yeah, she didn't know anybody anything.
In a coma due to trying to, off himself. Which, when that information came out, then everyone started questioning Dre. Why did you lie? Then everyone started going.
How did she lie? She didn't have to tell anybody anything. And it was her right to say what she wanted. She was trying to protect Vaughn, his name and his memory. That's what she was trying to do. And it was you guys who came out with this story that you created about all this, saying that she did this to him. I mean, Molly's came right out and said she killed him, she murdered him. You know, you and Justin and Goose and a few other creators, you know, Charlotte on the Web, EKC, even the Amber Channel have co-signed all this with Molly. All misinformation, all outright lies. So, yeah.
Back and watching, you know, all these lives that they had done over the years, and people started picking up on things that back then that they didn't really pick up on or didn't seem too questionable back then. But after, you know, hearing that he was in a coma, you know, because he was trying to off himself, things looked a little bit more suspicious, right?
And how's that? How's things weird? How are they suspicious? This is a personal decision that the individual makes. Dre did not make him do this. Dre did not do this to him. He did this to himself. And what were you seeing in these videos? Because what you were watching was little tiny clips of the videos. Because we all know you don't vet nothing. I mean, you do it in everything you report on. Not just this story that you guys, this narrative you guys have ran with that doesn't even exist. But you do it with a lot of things. I've seen you do it with the Duggars and with others. Where you'll read an article, and it can be from the most unreliable source in history, and you'll state it as fact because you read it somewhere, without bothering to maybe check the property appraisal's office to see if maybe the Duggar Janet did buy a home. But no, instead you just run with it like you have here.
Came out of them getting into fights, of him begging to just leave. He just wanted to leave and go stay in a hotel for a little bit until he could get, you know, himself together, until he could, you know, go to the VA and get...
You're speaking a bunch of jibber jabberish right now because you clearly were only watching clips. Because if you paid attention, because everybody, you know, there's been some really good creators that have covered this and have showed the proof, the receipts. The missing puzzle pieces is fantastic, and they have showed the true love that they've shared together. You can see it when they look at each other, when they talk to each other. Every relationship has ups and downs, and you are not judge nor jury. You worry about your own before you worry about someone else's. But, you know, go to Nonsense's channel. She's broke this all down with receipts, where there's actual real proof, not just hearsay. Down the Rabbit Hole News has done some great videos. There's a lot of good creators, Unirock, that have showed proof. What have you done? Misinformed. And giving a non-update update that don't exist.
Everything taken care of and, you know, get his mental health back on track. And
that's not, you know, at all what happened.
Give him the funds to leave, or he wasn't allowed to have a phone.
Oh,
she took
his phone
when she found out that he was talking.
I'm not even, because everything she just said is bullshit. But I can't keep stopping this because there's just so much to cover, and I want to because at this point I'm just so frustrated that they keep spewing this crap. But, you know, don't go by what I say. Go to these channels, you know, watch these videos. Go to Slay with Dre, watch the entire videos, not the clips. I mean, they're clip channels, that's what they do. And there's some really good ones out there. And some really funny ones, you know. But go watch and do some research. Look it up for yourself. Don't go by what these people are saying. Don't go by what I'm saying. And let's just get back into it.
Into old friends about, you know, his predicament. When she found out that he was talking to it wasn't even a girl, he was talking to an old guy.
And you know this how?
From my understanding, someone he was in the military with.
From Molly and Justin.
He ended up reconnecting with a couple of old buddies.
And you don't know about none of this.
He was not doing well, that his marriage was on the rocks. And when she found that out, she took his phone from him.
Oh my gosh.
Due to him having seizures, he couldn't...
That, you know what? Stop. Just stop. You're sounding like an idiot. You were sounding like an idiot. They had some ups and downs. And yes, Vaughn even left for 2 weeks and went to Georgia. But you know what, Al? When he was there, guess who he never reached out to and never saw or talked to? When he was right there in the same place where they lived. His biological mother, Miss Letitia, and his biological father. I mean, even Miss Letitia has stated herself that Mr. Jackson was never, ever in Vaughn's life, ever. And the one time you can hear it in Vaughn's own words where he did try to reconnect with his mother, she did him wrong. Just like when he was 16. At the times he did try to have something with her, she would screw him over. Go watch the real videos in its entirety and hear his own words.
Drive. So anywhere that he needed to go, he would have had to take an Uber, right? But he didn't have access to any money. So
Oh my god, here we go again with this. Go watch the videos, Al, please. I'm so tired of this.
when they would fight, he would beg to leave, want to leave, want to leave. Even if he got to the place where he could leave, he always had to come right back because he didn't have enough money to stay.
That's not true. Because he went to Georgia for 2 weeks and he realized how much he loved his wife and his family and wanted them back. And he went home to his wife and children where he wanted to be. Vaughn had tried to unalive himself before. So Dre had reason to worry and not let, and care about him. But you don't live with them. You don't know what goes on behind closed doors. None of us do. So quit spinning this. Quit spinning it.
Else. So the thing is because there's so many videos out there that people were going back and finding, this was a discussion. Like, even when people didn't have updates, people wanted to talk about it. People wanted to talk about that one video where this was said, or, Marvon was raised by his mother, Miss Letitia, as well as his grandmother. So
you're sadly mistaken yet again. Vaughn was not raised by Miss Letitia at all. Because before the adoption, his great-grandmother had custody of him until his great-grandparents adopted him. Letitia was not a part of Vaughn's life growing up. Sad, but true. Get your facts straight.
Miss Letitia, she had him when she was young. She went through some hardships, and ultimately he was raised by his grandmother. And when Miss Letitia
she
came
gave Vaughn
out
up and kept the other
to see
kids.
her son, when Marvon Sr. came out and wanted to see his son, what most parents would do, I think, if they're not getting answers from the wife, you would take any avenue that you could. So the avenue that they turned to was social media.
Biggest mistake they made. Number one, the avenue they should have went to was Dre. However, they didn't. Miss Letitia came to Facebook with a relative that did a GoFundMe. From day one, it was been misinformation because what none of y'all told anybody was they were his biological parents. He was adopted by his great-grandparents. That was his mom and dad. That's his mom. And she knew everything. So the people that mattered and were in their lives knew the details. The biological parents were not a part of their lives. Period.
They're not being able to find out where their son is at, what hospital is he at. Marvon Sr. managed to find out, drives however long it took him. I don't even remember how many hours it took him to drive there, but he drives, and he gets there, and she says, put him out. He's not allowed to see Marvon. Security removed him. Thankfully, the hospital said he can see him. You can't tell us who can see him, and he's allowed visitors, so he can visit Marvon.
Okay, you said a mouthful there. That's not exactly how it happened, dear. You really are not caring too much about your followers that you keep feeding them this crap. Go watch the video because Dre was smart. She made the video because she knew not to trust these people. They'd already been out there causing problems for her. She wasn't safe. And she was very confused at who showed up. That's obvious in the video. Watch it. You might learn something. Because she thought it was Letitia that showed up with Mr. Jackson. Again, they didn't know Dre. So they could have no ill feelings towards her. They never knew her. They never had a relationship of any kind with her. In fact, they didn't know their child, their son, and his Mr. Jackson had never even met him. But let's get back to it.
To visit his son. But once that visit was over, Dre immediately had him move.
And there you go again, spewing misinformation. It was a medical decision to move Marwan, not Dre immediately moving him because the biological father was there. That's not how it works. And yes, Arizona law is that she cannot stop them from visiting unless she does have the necessary court orders and stuff, which they claimed in the beginning. Miss Letitia claimed it was all done, but it never was. There was never no court orders. There was never no nothing filed by anybody. And yes, they knew they could go visit him.
So they did the best thing that they knew to do, which was they did social media to try to get answers.
Yeah, that's the best thing they knew to do.
To try to make this story big so there would be some pressure.
What story? There was no story here. This was a personal tragedy about a young man, a father, a husband that tried to unalive himself. And it wasn't the first time. There was no story here. You guys created this story. Molly turned, you guys, and Letitia and Mr. Jackson co-signed it. You turned this all and accused Dre of doing all this crap. That's none of it is true. She's did nothing. There's no investigation. There's no criminal case. There's no criminal charges because there was no crime. What story?
Put on Dre, you know. I think they probably felt like if Dre saw tons of people, YouTubers covering this, saying it's not right that you're not letting his people see him. It's not right. It's not right. That maybe she then would say she would cave to the pressure. So
yeah. So you're okay with that? Okay. Number one, Letitia was in contact with Dre, which she failed to tell people. And she also lied and said there was restraining orders against her and all this crap, and there was never nothing. In fact, the messages that had been released actually showed Dre explaining that Vaughn had C. diff, which is a very contagious infection. It's a very bad infection. And also, the virus numbers were pretty high. All that she did was say we needed to hold off a little bit till we get the infections and everything under control for Vaughn's sake. That's what was really said. So you need to go back and look at this because, girl,
get why they did what they were doing. They didn't know what else to do. They didn't know.
You get why they did what they did. You get that they brought all this misinformation to social media from day one. You get that they have co-signed Dre being doxxed, harassed, threatened, hate incited on her by these creators. People sent to her home where her children are living to videotape where the shed is and to get pictures of her and the kids to her family's homes, making hundreds of fraudulent complaint calls to DCF, calling the police, the hospitals. You get it? Wow, Al. You're really twisted. You're really twisted to say you get it. Because I don't.
Else the term? Oh, before.
They created all this.
Yeah.
Even
people
they
were freaking
amped it
out
up
that
after they
Letitia
did
just
see
got
him.
left on when he was a baby and never looked back, but that was not. Yeah, that's not what happened.
Yeah, that's exactly basically what happened.
There's so much misinformation about this story, and
Exactly. And guess who started all the misinformation about this story that was created? Miss Letitia, Molly, you, Justice for All, Goose, and a few others. That's who started and keeps spewing this misinformation. In fact, this whole live you're doing about the non-update update is spewing misinformation. You self-reflect like Molly does during your lives, don't you?
I know, like, there were times I wanted to go live because I saw another video, with Dre and Marvon, and
Then you would have.
I caught something that was said, and I was like, I kind of want to go live and, like, play this and talk about it, but then people were coming at us for going live to talk about it, So then I made...
Yes, because you were spewing lies and misinformation. That's why. You see a little tiny clip from a clip channel and you say, oh my God, big update, look at this. Stop. Really, just stop.
This decision that I would only go live and talk about Marvin if there were updates. And we
Well,
did.
then why are we
There's a
live
few
now? Because there's
updates
no
out there, you
updates.
guys, so I wanted to. I've wondered, over the weeks, like, are we going to hear anything else? Are we going to hear? It's hard to get invested in someone else's life, and
excuse me,
and just never hear anything else. So there were several.
No one's
creators
hearing
that brought
anything
this story
because
to
of
the
this.
forefront, and got so many people invested in Marvin and his story. And
No, they weren't invested in Marvin. They were invested in all the drama and the misinformation you guys were causing and creating. That's what they were invested in. Because Marvin was lost in this from the beginning. It became nothing but about drama, misinformation, lies, and money. It wasn't about Marvin.
his life. So I think it's only fair that when there is any amount of an update,
there is no
even if somebody
update.
wants to jump on their channel for 10 minutes to say, hey, here's the update, I know you guys want to know what it is. So I think Molly and Justin gave a few updates the other day on a live.
Look at your sources.
And there's a few things that I'm hearing, you guys. So one thing that we did hear is that the hospital finally said, listen, there's really nothing we can do. If you want, you can take him home. And you can take care of him. And Dre said, okay. So she took him home. She took Marvin home. And I'm sure she probably...
And you know this how? Because your reliable sources, Molly and Justin, are doing this. Molly does this for clicks and views like you are. There is no update. It's a fake update. It's misinformation. They don't know this is fact, and neither do you. Molly has admitted that when she does this drama crap, this is where she gets her views and clicks from. She's down on content. She keeps regurgitating this stuff about Dre, and it's all lies. And you just co-sign it all.
Got him like a hospital bed and everything.
And you know this how. If Vaughn was to be sent home, there is a lot that would have to be done first. But again, you don't know this is fact.
Taken care of at home. More than likely, there was probably like a hospice type of situation. There was probably
more than likely, there
to
you go,
help
assuming
some
again.
days.
You don't know. Sorry, my
I don't
dog's
have this
barking.
information for sure. This is me speculating as
Stop
far
barking.
as if they had any help from nurses. But I just
He doesn't like the
don't
rain.
think that they would let her take him home and not set him up on some sort of program.
Yeah, there would have to be a lot done for him to be moved home. She would have to be showed how to take care of his trach, his catheters. All that would be done before he actually got released home. And yes, there would be nursing set up because she would need assistance.
Where a nurse would come and show Dre, how to change his this and how to do that and how to do this. So she would know how to properly take care of him, right? So at some point he was sent home.
You don't know. Why are you spewing that? You have no idea.
Try to take care of him. Not sure how long that lasted.
Because you don't even know if it happened.
At some point, she
Talking out
decided
your
this is
ass.
too difficult for me. I can't really take care of him at home anymore. It's just too much pressure.
My opinion.
And she put him in a long-term facility. This is all what is being said, you guys. That he came home for a while, and then he was put into a long-term facility.
Yeah, this is what's being said. It's rumors. It's gossip, and you know it.
It definitely blows my mind that they would send him home. But there was nothing else the hospital could do.
Okay, look. Number one, Miss Letitia, on a live with Molly, called the long-term care facility to find out if he was there. On a live, mind you. That's something she should have did privately, but of course did it for the views and clicks and the sympathy to tug at hearts to get more donos coming in. Let's be honest. Because that's one thing I will be. brutally honest. You're not being. You're passing on misinformation, and you're good with that. Speaks volumes.
I mean, other than changing things out, obviously he was probably like had like a catheter and things that so he wouldn't use the bathroom on himself because he was just in a vegetative state, essentially. Thank you, baby. It's usually the family members that has to take care of the patient. Oh, thank you so much. I was thinking more than likely once he
Don't
left,
think.
they probably had someone come to the home to show her how to do everything, how to keep things running smoothly, how to do this, how to do that. And even if it only happened once, they probably had somebody come in and teach her the correct.
That would have been done before discharge, but yeah, she would have had to have been shown how to take care of the catheter and the trach and everything else, and the tube feedings. So yeah, that's done before you're released. And yes, nursing would have been done, home nursing, but you're assuming, your assumptions. These are not facts. There's nothing factual about anything you're saying that happened because you don't know.
Way to change things out. I figured it could be a slim possibility that they may have a nurse come in once a week or something like that. But from my understanding, you would have to pay for that.
Hence the need for her to have
So,
funds. Yeah, right.
We know that Dre made her income through being a social media influencer as well as through paparazzi. And she made a really good living for herself and for her family. No, I don't talk to Dre. I don't talk to Dre. This is just...
Yeah, she did till you people got involved and you incited hate and harassed and doxed and attacked her and her family. Endless hours of it. Endless hours. So yeah, you kind of hurt her income. And you've even just said she does have expenses she has to pay for. And if she did take him home, she would need assistance because I've cared for vegetative state patients with trachs and catheters. And it's a lot. Especially when you have 3 kids to also take care of. You know, I pray that you guys none of you ever have to go through this and people don't do to you what you did to Dre and her family. I really do. I pray that that nobody ever has to be treated the way you guys have done Dre. I don't agree with some of the stuff Dre did and said. No, I don't. Do I think there were some issues? Hell yeah. But she's not this evil monster, this evil demon you guys have portrayed her to be. And she did not deserve what you guys did to her. She's going through the worst thing in her life. That is her husband, her children's father. Shame on all of you. Shame on all of you.
Hearsay of what we're hearing.
Yeah, hearsay, but yet you're sitting here spewing it.
I mean, there was
and you're
this
good with that.
Not a pay stub, but a screenshot that she posted on her Facebook from back in 2021, January 2021, where she made the month of January over $900,000.
She's really obsessed about this
between
amount.
Her social media pages and her paparazzi.
Good for her.
She had a goal to make $1 million.
Worked for it.
And it was like 900, and she posted this, whether or not, and she did really good. I mean, she had 600,000 followers on Facebook.
Yeah, she's bigger than you'll ever be.
And let me tell you, you can make a ton of money through, social media.
You should know you do for views and clicks. You're happy with misinformation.
Representatives through paparazzi.
She didn't do it with misinformation. She did it building legit business with the paparazzi, with selling the jewelry and having people under her. She didn't get on social media and lie through her teeth to everybody. In fact, it was the exact opposite.
When all of this happened, she wasn't on social media as much.
Yeah, because of you guys.
More so when this story started getting covered. It ended up...
There was no story. Again, there was no story. This is what was created by Molly and you guys. That she did all this evil stuff when she did nothing. Marlon did this to himself. It was not Dre's doing.
to where she would only go live with a select few of people, and it was a very private live, literally like 10 or 12 people that
And
she
I don't
really
blame her.
trusted. She would go live for them, but she stopped doing these really big live streams where she had thousands
Excuse
of
me.
people on, keeping up with her life. So her income dropped drastically
Yeah, because
over
of
the
you
past few
guys.
months after this situation happened. So, no, it was like 900. I was trying to see if I can find that screenshot.
Oh, but
I had all of
conveniently
them, but I
you
ended
don't
up
have
deleting
the
them a while
proof,
back, which I
right?
did show them on one of my streams. Because
Okay.
her goal
And
was
who
to
cares?
make $1
Good for
million
her. I hope she
in 1
did
month.
make it. Good for her. She put the
Uh,
work in.
which, that would make a lot of
You
more
guys are
sense. That
we're
could
jealous of
potentially
her.
be.
Because she was bigger than any of you guys. And you'll never get there. You'll never get to that level. I think there was some jealousy involved. Just my opinion.
I remember the thing said my goal was to make $1 million this month.
Of course you remember.
And I was so close.
Hmm.
So I took that as through her sales of paparazzi and through her social media. But it could have potentially been her team sales. That would make a lot more sense. Either way, she was making a ton of money through paparazzi.
That's
She was
right.
making a ton of money through her Facebook lives. She had YouTube channels. So financially, she was she was well. But then she had to stop going live because every time she would go live, somebody would record it. People was in there, saying things that she didn't like.
No, that's not how it happened. It was because of Molly and Justin and you and Goose and Letitia and Mr. Jackson putting out this false narrative. And Molly would incite people to go after Dre and harass her.
So she ended up stopped going live.
She had no choice. They were doxing her. They were coming to her home.
That obviously messed with her income.
Excuse me.
Question: is she
Yeah, it did. Remember that you say that because later on in the video you say the exact opposite. So remember that.
From her. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna.
Oh, don't you dare! You're going to, aren't you? Yes, you will, because that's you.
I'm willing to say that.
Of course you are.
In my opinion, that she is probably back on. She's always kind of strayed away from like modern medicine when she got into this like cleaner lifestyle. What she was.
Okay, it wasn't always. Vaughn didn't like modern medicine either. This lifestyle was a choice that he made as well as her. But yeah, keep harping on that because there's nothing wrong with it. There's a lot of people that use holistic treatments and medicine. So yeah.
Because we saw videos of her back before that where they were sneaking across the border to get Xanax, So when you tell people, well, she didn't take medicine, well, we saw her talking about Xanax.
And that was before.
Well, at one point she did. She would take Xanax and things like that, but then she started this herbal lifestyle, this, alkaline lifestyle. And then it got to where she didn't want anyone in her family taking medication.
No, that's not exactly the case. They were doing holistic, which is fine if that's their choice. And Vaughn himself, again, didn't like modern medicine.
So she would do, my mind is going blank. But what was that she was giving him when he would have seizures? Cayenne pepper.
Yep.
She would, stick that in his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So more than likely, if he is home, or the period that he was home,
and people do use that for seizures, by the way,
that's
holistic
probably what they were doing.
medicine
what she was
treatment.
doing.
Yeah.
She was probably giving
You have no idea.
Cayenne pepper and
you have
what else.
You have no idea with none of this.
Decisions for him before this even happened.
Yes, she's his wife.
Carlita, I do remember it was for the month of January. So it may have been her whole team.
Back to the money thing. She's real concerned over what Dre made.
Right. And I had the screenshot. I'll go back and find it. But I'm pretty sure it was for that 1 month. Because I remember the caption.
And it probably was team sales, not Dre solely. So it wasn't Dre's income. Okay.
And then it was like 900. And I was like, holy smokes. Like, she did it. Like,
yes, she
got
did.
very close. Might as well say that she did it, She admitted Vaughn would have seizures when withdrawing from Xanax.
Okay, you don't withdraw from Xanax for years, okay, number one. Number two, that was not the cause of his seizures. So stop your misinformation.
That's exactly why he was having them. Yeah, because from my understanding, withdrawals from Xanax can cause you to have
Okay, but you don't withdraw from anything for 2-3 years. Stop.
seizures, right? I mean, there was a video that was floating around, floating
Oh, another
around,
clip.
where she said she was responsible for him having seizures.
No, it was a clip, and no, Dre was not responsible for him having seizures. Stop the misinformation. This is getting pathetic.
I agree, Helen. So, this came out not too long ago. Somebody was able to get this. This is one of Dre McCrae's admins. It says, "Hey everyone, it has been almost 5 months since the horrible incident happened to Vaughn and Dre and these babies. Times are hard as well. Gas prices are high. Food is expensive, and Dre made her money online and hasn't been able to get online because of all the harassment and verbal abuse caused by these creators. I will be posting her PayPal and the link to her landing page if anyone would like to help. I'm sure anything would help right now, and if you don't have it to give, send a prayer up for her family. Have a blessed Friday." So,
That is the truest thing I've ever heard you say. And that's because you didn't write it. And you need to verify your admins, by the way, too. But Dre did not put this out. Someone put this out because they care, out of the goodness of their heart. Because everything they said in this statement is true. Her income came to a stop because of you creators. Harassing, doxing, threatening, sending people to her home. It goes on and on.
I'm so sorry, Heather. My daughter has seizures. You cannot ever just stop taking any benzos. Heather, I hope you get that situation. I hope you get that
I'm trying to fast forward a
under
little bit.
control. You won a lawsuit. From my understanding, the lawsuit was.
Hold on. I'm sorry, guys.
Hilarious. I was like, I could see what the
I'm trying to get this editing down. I'm sorry.
Why people liked her. But then she started changing, it seemed.
I'm just going to fast forward through some of the crap because it's just not worth listening to.
And then we find out that, they're having marital problems, which whatever, everybody does. I mean,
Yeah,
you
they
and
do,
Sean, we have
including
our
you,
problems,
huh?
and everybody thinks we're perfect. You know what I'm saying? We're not. We
Yeah,
even have our
you're not
problems,
perfect. That's the impression you want to give people. But we know the things you've done.
Write that down.
Your YouTube history speaks for itself. Let me try to fast forward through this a little bit.
She found out, took his phone, made a big deal about it.
Oh, she's talking about the phone call with his friends and stuff, that they've been spinning this narrative about that Dre refused to let him have a phone and never let him have money and blah, 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 blah. More misinformation.
Behind her back. Almost, it literally, I was like, wait, was it a female that he was talking to? And it was like, no, it was a male. It was one of his old buddies from the military. And I was like, what? She got, like, I could understand, being.
And you know this how?
That your husband.
How do you know this?
Say,
you vetted your source? I doubt that.
Happens.
Because it came from Molly and Justin.
You probably should do it.
Okay.
Involving anyone in your marriage is probably not the best idea. But it happens. A lot of people do it. And it's not a malicious thing towards your spouse to do it. It's just you need to go to somebody to talk, So when she found out, though, she saw the messages. She took the phone. He wasn't allowed to have the phone. He wasn't allowed to have access to, bank cards, bank statement, any money in the bank, debit cards, anything like that.
You need to go back and watch some things. Yeah, really do. You didn't live with these people. You don't know what happened behind closed doors. None of us do. And like I said, go back and watch so you can see the little clips that you've been listening to. Watch the whole video. Yeah, I might actually learn something.
And she would sometimes sneak off to the store when the kids were asleep and get a donut. Something that was not on their list.
You're referring to a video of them eating churros and they all ate them. But yeah, okay.
Foods that
Whatever,
they could
Al.
eat, right? Because they were on
Keep
this diet.
saying this stuff.
But she kept everyone else on a very strict diet. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Raza would draw pictures of chips and meat, and he asked, "Can you just show me a picture of meat?" You know, like
Okay. I can't stand that when they do this. She's a mother. She knows how kids are. Okay? He was being a kid. These kids they looked very healthy, happy. They were very respectful. They were sweet kids. They weren't starving. They were cooking and eating all the time. And it's okay that she wanted to follow the pure diet. And they were healthier than us. Not feeding their kids all the junk and garbage that's in food today. She was a damn good cook. And I'd love to try some of her recipes because the stuff looked good. And she got her kids to eat that stuff. That is amazing. And they actually liked it. Shocker, huh?
and so she kept everybody else on a very strict diet. Her daughter, who was 14 years old at the time, lost 20 pounds. When you're 14 years old, you should be gaining weight, not losing weight.
Okay. Number one, she quit feeding them all the preservatives and crap that's in the food that we all eat. Yeah, so they lost a couple pounds. Those kids were healthy. You could tell they were healthy and happy.
Everybody in that family, well,
Excuse me.
her oldest daughter, Dre, and Vaughn, all lost weight. They looked very unhealthy. I mean, Vaughn
Yeah,
went
'cause
from
they got
a very
healthy.
nice looking man to looking like he was in his 50s after he
Are you
lost so
kidding
much weight.
me?
I'll
Are
show
you really going to go with that? He didn't look like he was in his 50s. Do I think they lost a little bit too much weight, in my opinion? Probably. But I'm no judge or jury with them. It's their bodies, it's their lifestyle. They were always eating, they just ate right.
Guys pictures. It's very crazy. Um, so I think Marvin just felt like he was in a situation that he just could not get out of, and he didn't know what else to do.
And how do you know this? How do you
And
think
I think he
this?
made this irrational choice, decision.
Excuse me.
Not really thinking about. You know. He
They
made
usually
this
don't.
decision to try to off himself, and I think he just was under a lot of pressure, um, and felt like he was trapped. She wouldn't answer, had an admin answer.
Okay. Trapped where? How? Are you reading that statement that Miss Letitia had somebody else write for her? No. This was an individual choice. Vaughn had suffered with mental illness for quite a long time. This was not Dre's doing. This was not Dre's fault. No one can make someone do that. That's a choice they make for themselves. They don't think about what they're leaving their loved ones to deal with. Ask any psychologist or psychiatrist.
For me to tell me not to ask questions. Yeah.
Who cares? I don't believe none of that crap.
I'm sorry, but I could not send her anything. She should have put some money back. She needs to get a job. I know probably sound mean, but that's just how I feel. With it.
Well, you know what? Let's pray that person that you're talking about right there in that comment never has to go through anything in life, because it's none of your business what she did do with her money that she earned, not begged off people with misinformation, misled and lied to people to get donations. She didn't do none of that. She worked for that money. And when your income comes to a sudden stop and you got the expenses that she does with 3 children and the things she has to cover out of pocket for Vaughn, oh my God.
That's the thing. You know, that's the thing is, on one hand, I'm like, oh, I feel bad. There's kids over there. But at the same time, she could get a job. She could get a job.
Are you kidding me, ElleBee? Are you kidding me? Shut the hell up. You get a job.
Because
She had a
Marvin is
job. You
now
guys
in a
ruined
long-term
it.
care facility. The kids can go to regular school, which is something that she don't want to do.
And that's her given right to homeschool her kids, and there's nothing wrong with homeschooling your kids. Just because you don't.
But you may have to. You may have to and get a regular job, you know.
Shut up. I can't believe you're
Also,
spewing
she
that
made her
crap.
money from other people going bankrupt because of her
Oh, that's bull
MLM.
crap.
She had a huge downline.
That's bull crap. And you shouldn't be
Oh
repeating this
wow,
crap.
really, Summer? Oh, I just read that. So back in the day when she was a heavier set, she was still like nasty. Yeah,
Oh,
BISH.
it's funny because you've said and
Bish.
everybody
I
else has
messaged her
said how
asking for
sweet she
advice on
was. So which
fibromyalgia
is
because
it?
she claimed that she had it, and her admin messaged back saying, "Don't ask questions." Wow, that's really wild. That is
Oh,
very
shut up, quit
rude.
reading your comments. You have no content, you're trying to make up content. I can't believe you said to get a job.
I'm
Shame on you,
trying
Al.
to
Shame on
find.
you. I pray you're never in this position. Because you'd be on
I
here in 5
am.
minutes crying your eyes out, begging for everybody to help you. Yes, you would be.
When
Shame on
he
you.
was heavier set, and then
Oh, she
versus
wants
when
to
he
show these
was.
pictures. I don't really care. Almost, it takes her forever to find them. But let's go on. Okay, to the
Now
pictures
half of his
finally.
face is kind of you can't see it. Um, he's wearing the gray shirt, right? Very nice looking, handsome guy. I could find the one of him.
And she'll keep going. She's going to show a picture of these two together, and I think it's a good picture of them. But I don't see where he looks like he's 50 years old. She's saying these words for the
Okay, if
dramatic
anybody in
effect.
Discord has a picture, I literally just deleted all my pictures not too long ago because my phone was
Conveniently.
full. Here's Dre right here. This is Dre. She was a makeup artist too.
Yeah, she was a damn good makeup artist. I'd have loved for her to teach me makeup because I'm terrible
This
at
is
it.
Dre without her makeup.
She's a good
Let's see
makeup
if her
artist, a
page is
good
still
cook,
up.
and a
It
good
probably
mother and
isn't.
wife
Oh, yep, there
that
she
you
is.
people have destroyed. Yeah, she has her
Oh, well,
faults. We all
here's a good
do.
way to.
Do I agree with some of the things they were doing? No, I don't. But it's their
Okay,
life
so
and
here
their
he
right.
is after all the weight loss. Both of
That's a
them.
good picture of them, if you ask me. He doesn't look like
Yeah,
he's
they both
50
look like they
years
were
old, like he's
starving.
starving. They look very happy.
He
And they look
literally
good.
aged 30 years.
Oh, he did not. Stop. He did not. That's a good picture of them together.
Hey,
In my
motherfucker.
opinion.
Oh, we've been on for 27 minutes. It's okay, though.
All right.
So, this is after they lost all the weight.
Good picture. They don't look starving to me.
It's astounding.
It's astounding. It's
If I'm not mistaken,
astounding.
the picture you showed is from the last time he got to hang out with his buddies. I would not be shocked.
Oh, shut up. You don't know nothing about their manners like that to be commenting. Stop. But I'm going to try to...
Yeah, more than likely she is getting his military benefits, I'm sure.
As she should. She is his legal wife, the mother of his child. She has to pay to raise his child. She has to pay for things out of pocket for Vaughn. She is entitled to that and should get it, Elle. Just like you'd be screaming from the mountaintops to get it if it was you. You need to stop.
So,
Good picture of them. Very good picture.
okay, let's go back to this. See all photos. This photo right here, I think from my understanding, this photo was taken when he was in the hospital.
So?
She was still doing her makeup every day, posing for photos.
Oh my gosh, she committed a morbid sin by doing her makeup and hair and wanting to look good and feel good. You know what? You got to do self-care so you can care for your loved ones. Vaughn liked it when she was all gussied up.
Look how skinny she got.
She looks good. That's a good picture, Joy.
She was so
That's a
much
really good
prettier
picture.
when she was a little heavier. She really was.
No, that's a good picture. Get one
Yeah,
more,
when
so
you lose
jealous.
weight so fast, your hair falls out, you're doing it wrong. I'm so sorry, Zen.
Let's
I'm
see if
so
we can
sorry.
fast forward a little bit.
I'm keeping you in my... Y'all, you good?
She does a lot of pausing. Unprepared. Looking for more pictures. Let's go. And still.
Weird.
Yeah, weird. Your whole life's weird. Alright, I'm going to try to get through this.
But also here, also what they're saying, I can't get that, but we're gonna go back to the Facebook and go, I don't know why. This is such a good then and now. But it's not showing up like that one did. Oh, but I know what I mean.
She's still fixated on these pictures. We've all seen them. Only we don't judge like you do.
Okay. So I also heard that it's also being said that
Heard, yeah.
she is gonna stay
Is it factual? No.
Yuma, Arizona.
It's not Yuma. Get it right.
Until
It's Tucson.
something happens
Get it right.
with Vaughn. So he is in a long-term care facility, and she's going to stay there until he, passes away. Until he passes away, or which that's, the option of anything else is very slim to none. But she's saying, like, until he recovers or until he passes away, I'm going to stay here. And then whatever happens, then she plans on moving, apparently. That's what's being said.
And you know all this for factual, right? No, like you said, it's hearsay. It's gossip and rumors and misinformation.
And
but I'm sure she is staying there to take care of him.
I know his dad,
and what's wrong
Miss
with
Wynette, had told Molly and Justin that, he hadn't heard anything, that he was still trying to figure out what was going on because he wants to see his son. And my thing is, if you're...
Okay, wait a minute. You're wrong. You're wrong. Because Wynette, Miss Wynette herself, of course, during one of Molly's lives, called Dre and left a message. But it had been weeks since Dre had reached out to them, and Miss Wynette admitted they did not respond back. For weeks, of course, until they were on a live with Molly. Wonder why that is, huh? Donations, heartstrings, yeah.
If he's in a long-term care facility, why not just, and he's more than likely not going to make it, why not just let his family go up there and have a few, some time with him?
Okay, they've been doing endless fundraising. They've only ever went to see Vaughn once. No one has attempted to go back and see Vaughn. Instead, they've chosen to co-sign this attacking and harassing and the things that have been done to Dre and her family. I don't think I'd let them around either. That's just me, but I don't think I would. And they are his biological family. They had no real relationship with Vaughn, unfortunately. They weren't part of their lives.
Why not? Oh, that's so sweet, Ian.
Oh.
When I got sick with autoimmune disease and my hair was thinning,
I'll try to pass forward a little bit.
Unless there are some updates, this is what's being put out there.
There is no update. It's just misinformation you're putting out there.
So I felt, to all the people that's been invested in this story, to just be left hanging, like, well, nobody's talking about it anymore. Nobody's doing videos on it anymore because, God forbid they do, then you got other creators attacking them and calling them like trauma vultures and everything.
No, it's not trauma vultures. It's tragedy pimping at its best, and that's what you guys are doing. And yes, Molly is constantly regurgitating the same old crap and story that she created, putting out lies, putting out misinformation. She's constantly putting out videos and going on other people's panels to talk lies about this. And you keep making videos. So yeah, you guys are still always talking about it.
So people have gotten to where they're not even really talking about it unless there is an update.
And there is no update.
And when I heard it, I was like, I want to make sure all the people that listens on my end, here's what I'm hearing. Which I will always say, this is what we're hearing. I thought his family was allowed to visit. It's been... So Miss Letitia did have... she got to visit twice, I think.
No. She visited once for 3 hours. Her own words. 3 whole hours. None of them have attempted to go back or even try to go back. But continued raising money.
Anymore. From my understanding, they don't even know where he is.
That's not completely true. Because, of course, it was on a live with Molly that Miss Letitia called the long-term care facility to see if he was there. Of course, she couldn't do it privately. She had to do it on a live with Molly. But it's about Marvon, right? Tug at the heartstrings again, get them donos rolling back in. Yeah.
Why can't the family transport Vaughn to long-term care facility near Letitia and Vaughn's dad? Because the wife makes all the medical decisions.
Also, they are his biological family. He was adopted, so they have no rights whatsoever, regardless. They have no rights, and you're right, he is married with his own family, and that would be Dre, his wife, and his adopted mother, who is his mom, who raised him, not the Jacksons or Miss Bias, because, again, they have no rights, and they had no real relationship.
His wife, Dre, is the only one allowed to make any medical decisions for him.
And that's how it should
It's not
be.
like he can talk and tell his family what really happened to him. If that's what.
What do you mean, what
that's
really
scares
happened?
me. Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's gonna wake
We
up.
know
and be
what
like, hey,
happened.
so this is what happened, or, whatever. And I just feel like he would want to see his family. I feel like if he could
Oh,
let us
you
know
feel
anything,
like, forget what
it would
Vaughn
be,
feels like.
I would like my family to see me.
Mm.
His family was allowed to visit under stipulations, yes. So she put a lot of stipulations on
And you know that how?
Miss Letitia.
Because Molly told you that.
When she visited. Miss Letitia was not allowed to tell Mr. Marvon Sr. where Vaughn was even at. She couldn't.
Mr. Jackson had already been there to see him. So, and Letitia, like I said, made the phone call on a live with Molly. So that's some more crap, too. And if there was all these stipulations, Letitia kept none of them because she amped it up even harder for the donos after the visit. Yeah. For all these lawyers that she claims she needed that she didn't need because she has no case and no rights.
Take photos, she couldn't video.
But apparently, according to Molly and Justin, she did, and they've seen them. So, there you have it. In your own words, she broke every agreement that she had with Dre. Just saying.
Letitia sent her grandkids money for clothes, like she sent Molly's money for her son. I don't even think she knows where her grandkids are. But I do remember.
Probably not, because only one child is Vaughn's, and she was not part of his life. He did not know her. She did not know Dre. Mr. Jackson and Miss Wynette had never even met him. So that goes to show you, they were not part of his life.
Miss Letitia saying at one point that she did send stuff, but I don't know if this was before or after.
No, she didn't.
But that was not Miss Letitia. That was Miss Wynette and Marvon Sr.
Mm-hmm.
So,
sure.
that was, because I was actually watching when that happened. That was
sure.
Miss Wynette. So that was Vaughn's stepmom, I guess you could say. And I think it was $100 for school clothes, I think.
You don't know how much it was? And that was all set up.
And that was to show her appreciation,
Yeah, appreciation for the money that she's raised for them. For their non-fundraiser fundraiser.
The family wanted this story out because they didn't know where to turn. All they knew is that Marvon was in a coma. He had tried to off himself. His wife was lying about it to all her thousands of followers. And so they had...
Okay, how was she lying about it? She didn't owe anybody an explanation for anything. Okay, number one. Number two, it was all about the money. It was all about the money, not Marvon.
People set up Facebook pages, and these people on the Facebook pages started asking YouTubers to cover it because they wanted it to get picked up on YouTube, right? So those Facebook pages reached out to a few bigger creators. Christina Randall, I heard, was one of them. I heard that she didn't want to cover it.
She didn't want to cover it because there was nothing to cover. There was no story here. These people should have never brought this to social media. Miss Letitia did that with a family member with a GoFundMe asking for donations from the very get-go with nothing but misinformation, not telling that she was in contact with Dre, that there was never no court order or anything telling her she couldn't go see Vaughn, not telling people that she was his biological mother and that he was adopted as a very small toddler. So yeah, there was a lot done here by the family.
But Molly Golightly was one that said she would cover it.
And the big creators didn't want it because there is no story. Molly made this story up. Molly, Justin, you, Goose, Letitia, the Jacksons, you all spun this narrative. There was no story.
Justice for All, and then I covered it. Yeah, Dre
Yeah,
probably
you jumped
would've
on
sent the
board
money
to
back
build
and
your
so, yeah,
subs.
that's probably true because I mean,
Misinformation
I don't think she
queen
would
number
take anything
2.
from them. He was excited to see his. Yes, he was excited to see his family.
Watch the whole
There's
video.
a video of him he's like, I can't wait to get back out there. From my understanding, that's why he bought the camper.
Well, your understanding's
when
wrong.
he went to visit his people, they could just stay in the camper.
Your understanding's wrong. Watch the video. His mother, who raised him, sold her home. She's living in a nursing home. His father passed away, his adopted father. There were some things in the house she wanted to pass on to Vaughn and Dre. So Vaughn and Dre were looking for a way to get up there to get this stuff and be able to bring this stuff back with them. That's one of the main reasons they got the camper, because they tried to use Dre's mom's. So you clearly have not watched any real videos, or you'd know that. But yeah, keep spewing the misinformation out.
Yeah, Sherry said, my husband stopped having a relationship with his family for 25 years. He has no regrets, so I don't know what he
Let's
wants.
fast forward a little bit. They just keep going over the same stuff. It gets on my nerves.
She is staying back in Yuma
No, it's Tucson.
until, whatever happens with him. If he wants to see them before, then she should let him.
And
That's
she's wrong
a
for
lot of
what?
people think.
Staying at her husband's side? Wow.
Well, I remember that it was said that she got like a little under 20K.
Oh, she got more than that. There was endless fundraising for days, weeks, months. In fact, they still are putting up the cash apps and stuff, tugging on the heartstrings when they have Wynette up. ElleBee, conveniently, Letitia, has not been in Molly's lives or chats for a while, even though Molly claims she's talking to her. But yet she goes into other people's chats and on to Facebook into other people's conversations, but not Molly's. Instead, Molly's dealing with the Jacksons now. And we all have seen in the beginning, before, where the Jacksons and Miss Letitia did not get along. In fact, Wynette even stated that Letitia threatened her and was fuming when their cash app was put up, because that's why they asked to take it down, even though it was put back up and they're still, and proceeded to get donations. Letitia lost it when she seen that they were getting donations too. She also really amped things up when a friend stepped up and made a donation to Dre to help with the expenses. She really amped things up with this stuff behind that. So you're not reporting facts at all. You just report gossip and rumors.
Okay.
Typical Elle.
I'll try to redo this, but I don't exactly remember the numbers. But I did see.
She's going to go through these numbers that we all know is crap too.
But we'll just put 20K. She refunded about 4K.
And where's the proof of refunds?
What was it?
Where's the receipts? We'll never know the true amount
4K. She went
collected
twice.
because they had so many avenues to donate to, and at one point Molly was even having them give the money directly to her through her PayPal and her Cash App and her Super Chats to give Letitia. But boy, I'd like to see some accounting on that to see if it was all given to Miss Letitia. Just asking. I'm allowed to ask questions. There's no real accounting, but they raised more than $20,000, and they also raised quite a bit for the Jacksons. 5 months in, were still fundraising. Even though Justin says there was never no fundraiser. Yeah, there was. It's all it was about was the money.
So I think she flew once and then she drove once.
No. Where's any? You're not okay. By this time, Mr. Jackson had already been in, so she knew the law that in Arizona she couldn't keep them away. She flew the whole way there, but never went to see him. Bull crap. How many times did people offer round trip airline tickets or money for airline tickets to get Letitia to Vaughn right away? And she wouldn't accept it because she don't fly. She can't fly. She had to drive. So which is it?
I think they said about 2K. She stayed in the Airbnb, I think.
Yeah,
and
you think
her
that's
total
dangerous.
lawyer fees, I think, was $8,200. If I'm
Yeah,
not
okay.
mistaken.
Keep believing that. What lawyer fees for what?
There was another
She has no
somewhere
case,
that
and there's never been no transparency. We've never seen anything about a lawyer because there's been no transparency on their part. However, we have seen posted by the admins of these groups that Miss Letitia never followed through with paying the retainer. So therefore, there was no retained attorney. And again, no transparency. She talked to several lawyers that wouldn't even take the case by her own words. Because there is no case. She has no rights. And what they were concerned about, which came out of Mr. Jackson's mouth himself and Letitia's, I know a probate lawyer handles different things, but they were concerned about getting control over what Vaughn has. But it's not just Vaughn's, it's Vaughn and Dre's. They were aware of that lawsuit. They were aware of the money. That's what they were after. Didn't work.
So that's $5,800. It was $87 for lawyers. Okay. So it was about $20,000.
No, I believe it was either $2,500 or $2,700 retainer that was never paid.
That she refunded because she did refund $4,000.
And there was a question of $1,500 that was sent to Molly from Letitia too.
It was not Letitia. It was Miss Wynette, and Miss Wynette even spoke about that later on.
Yeah. Okay.
It was $2K. We'll just say $2K for travel. $87 for the lawyers. Yes, I'm pretty sure it was $100, and it was absolutely Miss Wynette. I mean, I can go look for the video. Well, does anybody have a clip of that? Because I know it was a big deal was made out of that. And that was just, and I know that for sure there was Miss Wynette because I talked about that one night on the live stream. And Miss Wynette was in my chat.
Playing with your hair.
Miss Wynette
said
it was because I said that was just an appreciation token for what Molly was doing, bringing this to the forefront and helping
all
them
the
out
money
so
she
much.
made that she got donated for them, all the thousands.
An appreciation token. That's what it was. It wasn't her paying Molly for anything.
I think it was behind her card being declined to pay for their dinner.
Some of the money, because I was accused of them paying me. I never received any money from them. I actually donated to Marvon Senior as well as Miss Letitia. I donated.
That's your fault.
It was absolutely Wynette because she was in my chat that day when I was talking about it and I was explaining because people made it into this huge thing. And then I think Beauty Rock said that she sent $500 and I was like, no, it was not $500.
And you know this how? Because Molly told you.
I mean, if somebody did this for you and your stepchild, your husband's son, so he had just reconnected with, and they put this
there was a phone call.
There, and then
a phone call.
You're like, well, let me do something. And let me tell you,
he didn't know Vaughn. He did know Dre. Never met his Vaughn's son, Vaughn and Dre's son.
She just bought Jacob's car. Molly has money.
Yeah, she makes a ton of money off this crap.
She didn't know what else to do.
Tragedy pimping.
To show her that she appreciated her.
I'm gonna fast forward a little bit.
No, when she picks it up, I got. Minus $2K for travel.
No, she's still going over these numbers, which these numbers are a bunch of crap.
That's
I'm gonna fast forward.
53.
Keep trying to fast forward through some of this.
Yeah, I remember Miss Wynette saying her discussions with the lawyer all happened over the phone.
Okay, Miss Wynette really has no need for a lawyer because she's just Mr. Jackson, the biological father's wife. She doesn't even know Vaughn. Never even met Dre or the kid. She really has even less, and I'm not aware of her being with any lawyer. I know they said they didn't, Mr. Jackson said he didn't have one. And he even said Letitia didn't have one. So, y'all are lying here. Because why would Wynette need a lawyer? She really has nothing in the game. And they have nothing either. But she even has less than they do.
And she was charged for those phone calls.
No,
and that
you're
might be
not.
some sort of misunderstanding, but from my understanding, I remember hearing Miss Letitia say, every time I talk to my lawyer, I have to, it's through over the phone. And I am charged for those phone calls. It's not only when I meet in person.
Well, that's what your retainer's for the charges like that. But we've seen posted where she never followed through with the retainer. We've never seen anything that she actually has. There's been no transparency at all.
It's even if it's a phone call that I talk to him, I'm charged for those phone calls.
Your first consultation is free.
So, just curious, how did people find out anyone sent Molly money to begin with? That don't seem to me to be. Because Molly was on the live. Molly was live, and she goes,
everything Molly does.
Miss
Molly's always
Lynette.
live.
She was like, you didn't have to. She goes, Miss Lynette just sent me some money for Jake's school.
Yeah, because her card just declined to pay for their dinner.
if this was them paying her, she wouldn't have said anything.
Sure, she would have.
She opened it live. Yeah, she was live when she got it.
She's always live.
Which maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if people are constantly blowing up an attorney's office, every 5 seconds, I mean, their time is valuable. I thought she had 2 lawyers in 2 different states. From my understanding, she does have 2 lawyers.
Okay, why does she have 2 lawyers? Why? She has no case. And where's the proof that there's any lawyers involved? Guess what? There isn't any.
At one time, I think she may have had 3 or had the potential to have 3.
Yeah,
I'm not exactly sure because I don't talk to Miss Letitia.
Exactly.
I only talked to her, on streams before. So I don't know as much as that information.
You don't know nothing.
But what I will say, I think it's not nice. This is a real family. This is real life.
Yeah, it is. And look at what you guys have done to it.
That's going through this trauma they had just reconnected again.
Yes. And it is Vaughn and Dre's life, and look at what you've done to them. Look at what you've done to them. Been a part of what has been done to them, I should say.
And with their son, and
Yeah,
things were going
reconnected.
great.
A phone call.
And then
They weren't going great. It was a phone call.
you hear that he's in a coma. And you hear that he's in a coma through social media. It ain't even from the wife calling you to say, oh my gosh, let me tell you what happened. You hear through social media that your son is in a coma. And then you hear that he's in a coma due to seizures. So you say, okay, let me get in touch with the wife. Let me see if I can go see him. What can I do to help? Yeah, I can't answer every question because I don't know. I mean, I'll answer what I can, but there's no way for me to know conversations that were had with the lawyers, what all lawyers, because I never felt that it was my business. Because you want to know something? Here's the thing. Miss Wynette doesn't know me that well. I don't know her that well. Miss Wynette doesn't know all these people on YouTube. Could you imagine? If you try to get your story out there and you have all these people inboxing you, who's your lawyer? You're going to be like,
what story? There was no story. They created this story. And the people that mattered in Vaughn's life, these were his biological parents that were not a part of his life. His mother that raised him was aware of everything going on because she had a relationship with Vaughn and Dre. A good one. The people that mattered and were a part of their lives knew what was going on.
What? I don't know you. I mean, one person found out who one of the lawyers was and made it public.
Actually, it was Letitia and the admins from their groups that did that. And you can't dox a lawyer.
Because you can't trust people. Not everybody's good people. Not everybody's nuts. People
You're
will
right.
take something and they will twist it and turn it, and and what I can't.
Yeah, exactly what you guys have done. Spun this narrative, twisted it to fit what you wanted it to fit. And you sat back and co-signed all this and keep spewing the misinformation. So you're just as guilty. You didn't spin the story like Molly, but you've co-signed it and you keep repeating it and regurgitating the same false facts. Non-facts, I should say.
Saying I do know this for sure is
Oh,
when the story first came out there, it was not let's donate for a lawyer.
what?
That happened a little bit later when
Nope.
people started saying, well, maybe she needs to get a lawyer. Maybe
No, that was always part of it. Now, go back to the beginning because you really don't know what you're talking about.
she should get a lawyer to help her get some sort of rights to see
Excuse
her
me.
son. Never was it you were donating strictly for a lawyer. Never was it that.
Oh, it was a big part of it.
Never was it you were donating strictly for an attorney. It was to help with the situation. Travel. It's going to be costly. So if you want to help, nobody
Costly
ever
for
held
what? If no
a
lawyer
weapon
was
up to
mentioned.
anybody saying you must help. And I
It
have
was for
watched
lawyers all
so
along.
many of these videos, to see, because that's what it was saying. But it was supposed to be for a lawyer. And then we don't even know if she got a lawyer. No, it was never said it is strictly for a lawyer.
A lawyer was a big part of it from the get-go. And there's been no transparency, no proof that there was a lawyer.
It was Molly said I'm most positive it was either 28 or 38 just for the bill. She got to talk with lawyers, plus the people calling. That's so sad. How mature? Yeah, I mean, if I found out that a bunch of people that I didn't know was calling my lawyer, I'd be ticked off. I'd be like, that is none of y'all's business.
Al, I know
You
your
know?
history on YouTube. I know how you claim you didn't do background checks on people. Then 5 minutes later was
Yeah, they gave a
on a
lot of
video
money as
saying
well.
that you did.
I know Molly and Justin gave a lot of money. I mean, attorneys are not cheap. The whole situation.
It's okay.
I mean,
These
this
strangers
is a real
were
life
calling
situation. This is not
hundreds
some
of
little
calls,
game on
thousands
YouTube.
of
This is not.
calls to
It should have never
CPS
been
and the
made into a
police.
big
That was okay though,
situation
right?
like it was. I mean, I've never seen any proof that anything was a fraud. And let me tell you,
I'm not even touching that one because I get angry.
Candy, feel free to boot anybody that you feel. Candy
Yeah,
has been
boot.
one of my. Candy is
Let's
literally one of
fast forward a little bit. She's just gonna regurgitate.
that Marvon was in such a state of unwellness that he felt the need to try to leave this earth. If anybody, my lives are always chill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Well,
can only say what I
misinformation.
know. I mean, I don't know what answers you want, but I can only tell you what I know. I don't have money
You mean
for a
what you
lawyer,
assume and what
they
you
went got
hear
their
is
nails done
gossip
got
and
his
rumors
mistake. There was a
as
problem.
misinformation.
So how do you know
You
they
show
used
no
your
factual
money
stuff.
for
Nothing
their nails
factual.
and a steak? And can you reference me to where they were saying the money was only for a lawyer? Because I know everything that I've watched is there's going to be travel involved because she had to travel. This was her journey to where he was at was hours. I think.
Okay, that was a one-time trip. It didn't cost thousands and thousands of dollars. And yes, an attorney's been a big part of the fundraising. But again, no transparency. And no one has made an attempt to go back and see Vaughn. But yet they still are doing the fundraising. It don't cost thousands of dollars to go to Arizona by car.
It was like days, like a couple day drives.
It's a
Like
20-hour
20 hours
ride
or
with 2
something.
drivers. Come
Gas,
on.
food on the way, hotels, Airbnbs or wherever they were going to stay, and then an attorney. I mean, I think anytime you have a situation like this where it's going to take, someone's going to be driving 20 hours or flying, and you want to help for the cause, that money, if you say
She didn't
only
fly,
use this
she
for
said
a
it
lawyer,
herself.
there's no way they could do that. There is no way, the $50 that you send to that cash app.
Okay, I'm going to try to pass her. She's
only
just
be
regurgitating
used
this.
for that lawyer. when it's coming
Yeah, by
in.
what you do is show the proof that you got a lawyer, and that's what you use the money for. But they've showed nothing. Nothing in this case.
I know myself because I saw this. Molly said, "Where do you want to eat tonight? There's a nice little restaurant called something something. I'm sending you $100 to get you a nice steak."
Oh, was that when her card got declined to pay for their dinner with the
Did Miss Letitia ever
Jacksons?
say I had a steak dinner off of somebody else's money? But I know that Molly sent her money on probably 2 or 3 occasions for dinner.
And Molly should have sent her money because Molly was collecting donations for her.
So more than likely, if she bought a steak dinner, it could have potentially been with the money that Molly sent.
Oh, I don't care about this.
Molly sent them out for a nice meal more than once.
Yeah, with money that was donated to her from other people.
Well, I think you just have to really put it into perspective. What's your
let's just fast forward a little bit because this is old.
Already have. I don't know if she got her nails done. I don't know. But
who cares?
Maybe she paid
but
for it.
Molly's the one that said, go to the spa, do this, do that. And yeah, the money's gone.
In my opinion, if I had
and they made one trip. Where's the money?
No. Would I have spent the
Yeah, exactly. Would you? No.
money on that, knowing that I was going to have to? No, I wouldn't. But some people are real particular about their nails, and they get them done every 2 weeks.
Oh, my God.
Maybe that's what it is.
Stop
Nail
backtrack.
thing, I'm not even really going to discuss that because I don't know about that. I've never seen any proof that she got her nails done. As far as the steak dinner, I did hear her one time
I'll try
say,
to fast forward because it's just monotonous.
together to start donating money to you. And
that's not how it happened.
you're just getting it in. You're just getting it in. You know, with these little notes. I mean, somebody was like,
I'm going to fast forward through this
I'm
because
sending you this
she
because
just
of what
keeps
KJ did.
talking.
Your family member who's in a coma. You're not getting any updates. You're just deciding on your own, I'm going up there. I got to get answers. You're not even being told any updates. Could you imagine as a mother knowing that your son is in a coma and you can't even call to say what's going on with him right now? What's happening with him right now?
She was never kept from seeing Vaughn. In the beginning, Vaughn had C. diff, a very contagious infection, and the virus was going around hot and heavy there. All she did was ask them to hold off a minute till they got it under control. Miss Letitia's the one that spun all this misinformation about not talking to Dre and not being able to see Vaughn, saying there was restraining orders and stuff, court orders that were never done by anybody, not their side, not Dre's side, by anybody.
Is he okay right now? I mean, as a mother, I can't even imagine a second going by.
As a mother, she should have never sat back and co-signed all this stuff that has happened and done the stuff she's done as his biological mother. And don't forget, when she was asked his birthday, she couldn't remember the day he was born. Just saying, it was just a question she couldn't answer.
Without knowing how my son is. She couldn't. She couldn't ask. She wasn't getting no information, you know?
And why is that? Because of what she was doing.
Decides, I'm going to go. Miss Letitia never asked anybody to donate, from my understanding.
Oh, my God.
I watched so much.
Well, you haven't watched too much because she started the donating before YouTube was even involved. With the GoFundMe that she set up with a family member. She put it on Facebook. She started it all. Quit your lying. You and Justin and Molly keep spinning this crap. It's been all about the donations. It's not about Marvon. He was lost in this a long time ago. It became nothing but about the money.
Coverage of this and went back and watched videos.
Well, you didn't watch too many.
I could never find Miss Letitia asking for money. And I remember watching Molly one night, and Letitia called her and said, I just can't sit by anymore waiting. I'm going. Me and my husband decided we're going. We've actually just packed our bags. We're jumping in the car and we're going. And Molly was literally on a live stream and said, oh my God, y'all, they're going. It's a 20-something hour drive. Let's help them. Let's help them. So.
Yeah, supposedly Molly paid for the place they stayed in and everything, but yet they'd already been collecting money because Letitia started out asking for donations from the very get-go, like I said, before YouTube was even involved. And since Molly has claimed that she paid for the 3 nights and everything else, why did they need all these donations? And why afterwards do they still need all these donations? The thousands and thousands that have been donated. Where's that money?
People started donating. She put her Cash App up there. You know,
Oh,
people
Cash
started
App,
donating. People
PayPal,
started donating. I never once
GoFundMe,
remember Miss Letitia
Venmo,
saying, "You
everything.
guys help me out." It was nothing like she asked for prayers. I do
That's
remember her
not
asking for
true.
prayers,
That's not
but it
true.
was never one of these things where she was begging for money.
That's not
Now
true.
Molly was like, "If you can, let's help her out. Let's help her
No, that's
out."
not how it
Yeah,
went. Not at all. Not at all.
um, okay. We aren't getting answers about a lawyer here or anywhere else because I don't know much about a lawyer. All I know is
Exactly. You
she
don't know
has a
anything.
lawyer. I think she has two. I think her
And
bill
where's
was
your
over
proof that she has a lawyer?
$8,000 up until a couple months back. That's what
Your
she has
sources,
stated.
Molly and
There was a few
Justin?
people that saw the receipts for that, people that she
Yeah, your
trusted.
source. Did you? Did you see the receipts? No. You're going by what Molly and Justin has told you. There's been no transparency in this case whatsoever.
The thing is, yeah, go ahead and boot her because I don't. What is she going to do? I mean,
Boot somebody
don't
because they're
know.
asking
Report you to
questions.
YouTube.
Typical.
YouTube is so lax on my. I mean, they leave it up to your. Here's the thing for YouTube. This is a platform. It's not a publishing place. It is a platform.
But after all this mess, things
Now
might
they have
change because
rules,
karma's
but
going to
it's
come and
not like
knocking.
if OFMI gets sassy with you, they're gonna block the mod. That doesn't happen. It's really not that serious. I can't answer many questions about the lawyer because I just don't know.
You don't know much about anything.
I really don't know. She has lawyers. That's all I know. I know.
And how do you know
paid
this? Because that's
over
what you were
8,000
told.
way back when. She's probably paying more now. I don't
No.
know.
They quit talking about it. Because they've emptied the accounts. She herself said she had to
So,
actually go into her
but
own
I will
pocket
try to be
to pay
respectful with
refunds she
anybody,
never
as
paid.
long as they're respectful. You know,
So
like
where'd all
saying
the
we're
money
not
go?
getting answers here. That's kind of rude to me because I'm giving you
How's
the best
that rude?
I can.
You're not giving answers. You're
My
giving
video
misinformation
was to
crap.
talk about what I knew about Vaughn. He's in
You didn't know
long-term care,
anything.
is what we're hearing. He did get sent home from the hospital that he was in
You don't know that. You're gossiping.
to Dre's house, to his home.
Again,
Dre was
gossiping.
supposed to take care of him. After a while, Dre said, "I can't. It's too hard." She put him in long-term
More gossip.
care. They have started fundraising basically
That's their
for
no
Dre
update.
for her to pay her bills. And she has said, "I'm going to stay in Yuma until
It's Tucson. Get it
something
right,
happens.
Al.
Either he gets better or he passes, and then we're out of here." So that's that was my update. Anything else, I don't really know.
I wouldn't want to live in that house
really
either.
need to
I don't
know
blame her.
every detail of the donations. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
That would be too hard. I don't blame her. I would want to move too. The horrific nightmare of that shit. I could never. I don't blame her.
I don't know. I'm not a troublemaker. I just know I did see it with my own eyes, but I don't know what's going on. I don't know if Molly seen it. I don't know who the person was. I saw that. Saw what, Ashley?
I'm gonna try to fast forward a little bit because she just keeps rambling.
Y'all, Nana's not drunk. Facts. I see. How is Letitia buying them dinner with donations any different from people who give dinners like casseroles to families in these situations? You know what I mean? Yeah. Really, you knew me. Calls a man that I've known for a couple years now.
This is crap
I stand
too.
side by side
About
with
somebody
working.
calling Letitia's boss, but yeah, we've all been told that she's self-employed, so she doesn't have a boss. And that she got sick because of all the stress from this. No, because of what she was doing. And Bell's palsy is not caused because it's an infection. It's not caused because of this. This is such crap. I know she's talking about somebody calling her boss like anybody cares.
Yeah, when she finally got to see her son, it happened
now.
because of the lawyers. So we know she had a lawyer. Her lawyer was doxxed. Money paid
You can't dox a lawyer, idiot.
for the lawyer. There's
And where's
no
your proof there's a lawyer? Because nobody's ever seen any.
Because it's
Have you seen it with your own eyes?
money.
No. Your sources are Molly and Justin.
It's literally virtual money. So, I mean, how will Letitia know anything if they have no contact with Ray? Through her lawyer.
That's not true.
That's how.
I hope Dre does have a lawyer. And I hope she's amassing all this evidence and sues every single one of you people. Because she sure would win. That's who should have a lawyer.
But anyways, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and close this one out. I did not mean for it to turn into
Yeah, she did. Okay, guys, I'm going to end it here because she just gambles on some more. But once again, misinformation, and there is no update. And what she was referring to about something about Dre's other two kids, is something Molly put out, but what Molly didn't tell everybody is where she got the info. And it was something KJ posted. Yeah, that's where their source is. Isn't that something? But they're never going to admit it. Molly would never admit it. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Sorry this is such a long video. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'm really trying to build my channel here. I'm going to change up some of my content, though. Try to get a little bit more interesting. But anyway, again, thanks for hanging out with me. See you next time.